With an introduction to JavaScript basics and a quick run-through of blockchain concepts, we can now, in this section of the course, begin using JavaScript in real code to exercise our new findings. In this first video of this course section, we'll begin putting together a blockchain project with JavaScript. Our intention is to utilize the concepts we went through in section 3 by writing functional code. We will not focus on discussion of JavaScript concepts, but instead on coding JavaScript classes and functions that will enable real functionality. I'll lead you through the design of the code, but not stop to explain the particular JavaScript aspects that are being implemented. We'll code at a nice, productive pace as if we've used JavaScript for years and we know it all so well. We'll first get Crypto.js working within our project and review how we plan to leverage the library in our code. We'll get a clear understanding of why we use great libraries like this to bring the work of cryptography experts into our own project and be able to rely on the library's creators for trusted cryptography functionality. The next video is where we'll really flesh out the meat of our blockchain. We'll develop a block and a blockchain class that will each have the primary functions that will drive the blockchain's lifecycle. We'll start our block class with properties that can take our block's data, timestamp, a referenceable index value, and the hash of the block that was previously produced so we can chain blocks together. We'll then define a blockchain class that will depend on the block class that we defined in containing the actual chain of blocks. We'll also define functions that will allow us to add a block to the chain and to get a block so we can view its contents. Finally, we'll add a function to check the validity of the blockchain by validating the hashes contained in the block class's chaining mechanism. The final video in this section is where we'll begin implementing security measures within our blockchain. We'll engage the Crypto.js library in the process to create hashes of our blocks by creating a hash block function that will take all of a block object's properties and create a consolidated hash value with Crypto.js's hashing method. Then we'll be able to use those hash values to link our blocks together using our block class's previous block hash property. We'll define a mining function that will encapsulate these hashing and linking processes, and we'll trigger the mining process with the add block function that we'll have previously defined. Of course, with actual mining functionality built in, we'll need a genesis block, the first block, produced and set into our blockchain. So we'll create a function for creating an appropriate genesis block to jumpstart a blockchain object created by our blockchain class. Again, this section's video content is primarily coding, and we'll move at a nice clip without explaining the theory behind the various JavaScript classes, operators, and functions that will be used. This is to provide actual practice of what we've learned and exposure to the use of these JavaScript concepts, which should provide better retention of what we learned in section 3 of this course. After we finish the final section of the course, which will entail even more coding exercises, which will complete our blockchain project, we'll step through our functioning code and review the theory, mechanics, and syntax usage in each of the classes and functions that we've written. So at this point, you should have your development environment in the state that we put it in earlier, with Node installed, a new project ready for JavaScript code, and Crypto.js installed. If you haven't set up your environment yet, please return to the final video in the first section of the course where we walk through the process.